Problem number 6 states, all points that are equidistant from 2, 2 and 9, 3 lie on a line with equation ax plus by equals c, where the positive integers a, b, and c have no common factors greater than 1. What is the value of a plus b plus c? Okay, first off, that's a lot of information, so we're going to break it down into components. So the 2 points that they have given are 2, 2 and 9, 3. Next, we know that all the points are equidistant from these two. So the word equidistant means equal in distance. So that means they are equally distant from 2, 2 and 9, 3. That means any point that you pick, the distance from that point to this point and that point to this point is equal. Okay. Next, we know that the equation is ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to write that over here, because we know that this is the format they want it in. They have also stated that a, b, c are greater than 1, or are positive integers, and their common factors are not greater than 1. And they want to know a plus b plus c. So I'm going to write that here so we'll know. So I've gone ahead and drawn a coordinate plane and plotted my 2 points right here. So this is 2, 2 and this is 9, 3. This is the line going across from both of the points. Now, before we go into this problem, I want to mention one thing first. To find the line equidistant from 2 points, there are 2 conditions that need to be met. The first condition is that it must go through the midpoint. The second condition is that it must be perpendicular. So as you can see, I've drawn my arbitrary line right here. So it's not going based off of any fixed numbers. It's just going off of what I've assigned it because of the midpoint and the perpendicular. So I'm going to label this as ax plus by equals c. So right here, this red dot represents my midpoint. And this line itself, I've drawn a right angle, which represents that it is perpendicular. First off, to find the midpoint, we need to average the coordinates for these 2 points. So the midpoint formula is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So that gives us 2 plus 9 divided by 2, comma, 2 plus 3 divided by 2, and that gives us 11 by 2, comma, 5 by 2. So this is the midpoint formula, so it'd be a good idea to jot this down into your notes, and to also write down that for any line to be equidistant between 2 points, it needs to go through the midpoint and be perpendicular to the line created by those 2 points. So using this, I'm going to write down this number, or this midpoint right here. And I'm going to use this space to solve for this line. Next off, because the line is perpendicular, this means that the slope is also perpendicular. To find the perpendicular slope, I need to first find the regular slope. To do that, I'm going to find the slope between 2, 2 and 9, 3. Remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that gives us 3 minus 2 over 9 minus 2, which gives me 1 over 7. So we know that the slope for this line right here is 1 over 7. But remember to not stop here, because we need to find the slope between these 2 points, but that is not our final destination. we actually need to use this information to find the perpendicular slope. Remember that the perpendicular slope is equal to the opposite reciprocal. So opposite is a fancy way of saying to flip the sign. So if it's positive, we need to bring a negative. If it's negative, we need to make it positive. In this problem, our slope is positive. So we know that the perpendicular slope will be negative. Next, reciprocal is a fancy way of saying flip the denominator and the numerator. So 1 over 7, if you find the reciprocal of it, you will get 7. So the perpendicular slope is equal to negative 7. So I need to write that down over here. Perpendicular slope, m is the symbol for slope, equals negative 7. Now I'm going to quickly erase this so that way we can solve for what we really need. The problem is actually asking us to find A, B, and C. To do that, we need to find the equation of this line. To find the equation, we need two things. We need the slope, and we need some point for the line to go through. Luckily for us, we have just solved for both of those. So the formula for the point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We know y minus y1 is 5 over 2, is equal to m, which is negative 7, times x minus 11 over 2. All I'm doing is plugging in the information that we have just derived into the point slope formula. You can review this from your slope notes from algebra or find this anywhere online, and it'll give you a more thorough, in-depth information about the point slope formula. So using this, we're going to solve and put it into the form ax plus by equals c. So we get y minus 5 over 2 equals negative 7x plus 77 over 2. Again, I just distributed the negative 7 throughout these parentheses, and this is what I've got. So I'm going to bring the 7x over, and I get 7x plus y, and I'm also going to bring the negative 5 over 2 over, so I'm also going to add 5 over 2 to both sides, and that gives me 77 over 2 plus 5 over 2 is 82 over 2, which gives me 41. So now I have ax plus by equals c has translated to 7x plus y equals 41. Therefore, we know that a is 7, b is 1, c is 41. And because the problem is actually asking for a plus b plus c, you would add these up and you would get 49. 49 should be your answer. Although this problem seems lengthy and tedious, it's actually not. Once you get a hang of finding the midpoint, the perpendicular slope, plugging it in, changing it to standard form, the problem becomes very simple. It becomes second nature.